Mic check. Are we good? Hey, we're good.
The wings, because the pressure differentials can actually create what people call in plane world contrails, and actually create clouds, small little clouds. And I don't know if they'll be able to see it in the camera shot when he comes across down the straight, but because of the moisture content in the air, it really helps visualize some of the aero coming, and you'll see it in the corner of the wings when he comes down the straight at high speed.
Yeah, and a lot of people have seen this in rain races. If you're a Formula One fan, any race where there is rain or very high levels of humidity from fog, etc., you see these vortices or contrails coming off of the wing. And though it's not foggy out here, the humidity is still up. It is very cold right now, so this is the best time to be able to witness that. It's also great to see the aerodynamics actually in play.
It looks like Cole aborted the lap. Hopefully he's going to come back through for another flyer, or I don't want to say they have a problem, but I hope not.
Well, and truth be told, it is still cold out here. We do see teams do 3/4 of a lap, come in, get their tire temperatures checked, make sure everything is still up, and then go back out. Cole is a competitor. Cole, whether the car has an issue or not, he's going to want to set a lap time. Speaking of lap times, we got Kevin Burke with a 1:48.929 in his limited class S2000. We do have quite a few S2000s out here this year. From what I could tell, just walking through the paddock before coming up to the tower, we have Kevin Burke in his Rockstar Garage S2000. We have Project Import in their S2000,
Yep.
And we have Evasive Motorsports in what is arguably the best looking S2000 in North America.
That new Voltex kit is by far my favorite. Looks like Cole is coming in for checks. Probably going to check tire pressures.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that there may be an issue. No one is surrounding the car. Cole doesn't seem to be scrambling, neither does the team. So this may have really been an installation session for them. Though as fans and announcers, we want to see them use every lap possible. Realistically, they want to go out there and set the best lap in the best condition. These cars are very high strung. They're not going to just go out there and willy-nilly run laps, but the best part about a team like Life is they're a no-give-up team. If you follow them through SLB Coda, where they reset the record breaking down the front straight, if you follow them through all of their iterations of Pikes Peak, from Cole going up the first year and losing the splitter, all the way to Frank the Tank over there with the diesel running up last year. This is an absolute team that just does not quit. While we have Life Motorsports going through the checks in the paddock, we would like to explain to you a few things about Time Attack. First of all, the classing and how the classing works. Though we've been doing this for a long time, it's great to always have new fans. We get reached out to a lot, and people ask us, what is the difference between these cars? Is it a single class out there right now? Is it, based on the drivers? Well, first and foremost, these guys are put out here based on speed differential. So every group is going to be competitors that are within a time frame of each other for multiple reasons. One of them being, I'm sure Paul's lived through this, you want to make sure that you're not catching the car in front of you on a hot lap.
Yep. Yeah, you want to make sure safety is one of the top priorities. The other priority is getting good, clean laps. And by grouping the cars by speed index, in theory, every car should be going faster than the car behind it.
Absolutely. And the best part is I saw Life hesitate by the exit right there, and I was about to get really sad, but it does look like they're going out. There's Kevin Burke going through the bus stop complex. It's actually pretty crazy to see it from the drone footage. Anyone that's been here at Button Willow Raceway Park knows the shot you have of bus stops sitting on the paddock or even up here in the tower doesn't show you the true attitude of the corners. It's not just a simple corner. Paul in the car will tell you, you physically can't even see that corner when you're in it.
Yep, it's can be terrifying at times, especially the bank in, what is that, Riverside?
Correct.
There's a pretty hefty bank in Riverside, and honestly, really none of the cameras show how deep it actually is.
Or how committed you have to be going through these S's. To be fast, you're basically not lifting, and that final corner right there through the S's is probably one of the most dangerous. You take too much curb through that, and the car's just going to whip around and put you right into the tire wall on the inside.
Yeah, honestly, the S's here are they're one of my most hated, but also my favorite, because you really have to get the first one right, and then you got to get the second one right and the third one right. You can't mess them up.
No, it's not forgiving is probably the best way to put it. Given if you're going to make a mistake, make it on the first two because you'll drive straight off. You do not want to make a mistake on the final one.
Absolutely.
It does look like Kevin Burke laid a second lap down, a second flyer, a 148.092. He came in, got everything checked, and then went back out and laid a faster lap. This looks like it may be the Life Motorsports GTR setting up to start a hot lap. Though the front straight is the longest part of the track, Paul, this is actually the fastest.
Yep. Yeah, you could really hit some serious speeds coming up to Sunset, which is kind of scary because Sunset's basically a 90-degree corner with very, very, very little runoff. It takes a lot of commitment to come into Sunset hot.
Absolutely, and in the actual apex of the corner is a big dip where you don't necessarily want to put your tires. Here we have Cole starting a hot lap. If you've never seen the Life Motorsport car up close and personal, I gotta say, you'll never understand the true workmanship that was put into that car. It's not like any other GTR you've ever seen, I can promise you that.
Yeah, the attention to detail, all the carbon fiber work that's gone into that. They have multiple variations for hoods, splitters, wing configurations. Depending on which track they're going to, they can modify this car to achieve whether it be the best top speed or the best downforce.
Oh, absolutely, and in their history, they've proven that top speed isn't always the winner. When they beat Knob Taniguchi at Speed Ring at Auto Club Speedway, Knob had 20 to 30 miles an hour on the bank, I remember. And on the last lap of the last session, Life pulled out a flyer that beat him by not very much, and it was all in the infield. It was all in the banks, in the braking.
I can't remember what track it was. It was when they first debuted their triple element wing. I believe they were having issues with it, and they ended up taking off the top element of the wing, and it actually helped them drastically. I think it was causing too much drag, too much downforce, and the car was unbalanced.
That's the good thing about a team like that. And before we make it sound like they're a multi-million-dollar race team, this is really just a small shop that does it out of pure love. They have so many projects going on. The fact that they are able to put in the effort to bring a car out here and continuously develop it is amazing.
Yeah, I spoke with Cole earlier, and he said he was honestly surprised that the car was even here at this event. But here it comes around, Sunset coming down. We'll see what he gets for a time.
Such a good sounding car. 142.804, not bad for a first flyer, especially as Sydney's been parked for a while, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's been parked for...
since their last Super Lab battle.
Yep, when they exploded the two drive shafts.
Two drive shafts, that is correct. Reset a record, blowing up a drive shaft on the straight. That right there is the dream.
Yep.
Here we have Group 2 getting ready on paddock. That's going to be J5 STI, Mr. Johnny Hernandez. People want to see the craziest time attack cars out there, but what they don't understand is sometimes the simplest time attack cars with the seat time make the difference. Johnny's car does not look very aggressive at all, but you know what it does? It lays down flyers.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes down to the experience of the driver. Seat time is the most beneficial mod you can make to any track car.
It's paramount. And honestly, we have a couple cars like that. We've seen cars out here where people would think it's closer to an HPD style car, but proper setup, proper suspension, building for their class, and they just go out there. Johnny Hernandez has sat on the podium at GTA Finals multiple times.
Multiple times.
And what people would argue is one of the most competitive classes, which is street class.
Yeah, street class has become definitely one of the most competitive. We now have multiple teams building to the limit of the rules. Back in the day, we honestly only had Marcos in the record breaker, and he built that car to the T of every rule. Every inch of splitter he could make, every inch of width he could make, he did, and he was smashing records.
Well, there wasn't a track you went to where you didn't set a record, and I think that really hyped people up to go, you know what, I can build for this class. There is another car in this that we want to talk about that looks very simple, and that's Thomas Smith. He showed up in a car that physically looked like a street car one year and podiumed in that thing.
It's really, the car hasn't really changed. He's been driving that car, and him and Eladio have been making just minor changes, and Thomas is a phenomenal driver, absolutely phenomenal driver, and he knows his equipment well.
Absolutely. There's another car out here you're not used to seeing at a Time Attack event. We have an Audi R8, my friend. That's going to be George Zhao and Zheng Yang Huang.
In practice, that thing was flying. I think we've only had maybe 1 or 2 R8s to compete with us, and this guy was moving.
Oh, my fucking mic has been muted the entire time? Jesus Christ! Leave it to me to fuck that up. Give me 1 second.
The name is not there right now. I do apologize if you're watching. You know I love you, but for some reason, the name has eluded me. But this is what you're going to see Group 2, Session 1 ready to go out. I do see some good competitors. Another S2000, by the way. Is that another yellow one?
Yeah, I feel like this year, you know, it seems like we always have a theme each year. A couple years back, it was GTRs. Everybody showed up at a GTR. This year, it kind of looks like Supras and S2000s are going to rule.
I remember, I believe it was last year, the Supra craze was wild.
Yep. There was a year, I remember there was like 8 Miatas, and then the year after that, there was about 10 S2000s.
As you can see in this shot, by the way, the Art of Attack BMW, one of the most beautifully set up track cars. And the best part about that is it has the mentality that Art of Attack puts into their cars, that Amir puts into cars when he builds Aero. You can absolutely build a fast Time Attack car and make it show quality.
Yeah, that car, I've seen the pictures. I haven't been able to go over to the paddock and actually look at it up close. But everything I've seen in the pictures from SEMA, that car blew me away.
Oh, absolutely. And this isn't their first year competing in it, and that's the best part. They put it together rather quickly, ran with it last year, set some very fast times. This year they've had a lot of development time. They've put in a lot of work. Shoot, like you said, it was just at SEMA being towed back here to compete. So this is going to be a car we are very excited to see on track.
We actually have
Bruh.
SEMA cars here, and that's kind of
Fucking moron, bro.
Always ran this weekend is weekend after SEMA. All the teams are kind of near the West Coast.
Let me
and
fix
say,
this
hey,
picture real quick. Sorry, guys.
And come out here and let's see if your track car really is as fast as it looks.
All right.
Multiple SEMA cars here that definitely are super fresh.
Mic check. Y'all can hear me good? Let me know, please. Somebody.
That team is, by the way. You know who's driving the M4? Amir and Ill Will.
Oh man, that's stacked.
That's Will Drees. You may know him from, honestly, internet fame. Let's not lie about it.
Hey, Jason, that guy Will Drees.
Prelude, owned by Corey Wells.
I think that's the guy that bought that prototype car, is building his own aero kit for it. Pretty sure that's who he's talking about.
Honestly, if you're looking for a hot shoe in California, you're going to find him driving multiple cars. He obviously has been working with Amir and that team and those people for a very long time, so it's great to see those two in this car. Sadly, Amir's NSX couldn't make it, but it's good to see.
What?
It's okay because
Amir's NSX isn't there?
Time Attack goes, you know, Amir's going to be down for a little bit, and I think the goal is Super Lap Battle to really unveil it for a competition. But you know, we've got some guys that go away for a year or two, and
Thanks,
they
Speigler.
come back with absolute monsters. They come back with some serious cars. And it's all about the prep and downtime and how you plan to come back stronger.
And Gabe Shadid right there, and your favorite grocery getter. That's going to be a 4-door supercharged M3. He can not only set fast lap times, he can actually go get lunch for the whole.
Yeah, I think that's going to be Jason's competition next year at SOB Coda.
Yeah, that car has slowly evolved. I remember he came out as a undergunned limited
Actually,
class car,
let's do this.
and he made a few changes to the car, and we kind of told him, hey, listen, bud, you're no longer unlimited. You're an unlimited class car. And
Damn.
he said okay, and then he gutted the car and he just went racing.
Speaking of class bumping, Art of Attack Honda Civic Type R, Jose Mejia. He's actually in limited class this year. They've made the jump. He set one of the fastest lap times in a front-wheel drive car. He actually even went faster at a non-competition event at a track day. So the speed in that car just kept going, and they just decided to make the plunge. No longer sitting in street class, they're in limited now.
And that's kind of the...
All right, so cars this group I'm excited to see. Probably the most excited to see the M4. The rest of them I really don't know too much about, so we'll see.
Class descriptions up here for the fans who aren't sure. Haven't seen any of these cars out here yet, but enthusiast class is absolutely the entry level. This is. Do you want to find out if Time Attack is for you? Do you want to know if you want to compete with these guys out here? Bring your HPD car out here.
Factory OEM transmission.
Unlimited engine mods, we do not believe in classifying power, okay? Because it's up to you as a driver to put that power down within the tire and aero spec allowed. OEM transmissions,
I mean, who knows? I mean, he could break. It's his first time at Coda, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the guy, so.
engine swap is limited to the
But
engines available. So let's say you have a 92 Honda Civic, you
we'll
could put a
see.
B series in it because that was available in Japan. Let's say you have a 2008 base model Civic, you put a K series in it because that came in the SI. Very easy in enthusiast class. Street class, on the other hand, Paul's going to break that down because this is the competitive class.
What are you thinking, Bailey? What time do you think it's going to set?
Really where we start digging in. Obviously, the biggest thing is we do not allow pro drivers in street class. We feel like street class should be your first stepping stone. And if you're going to strap in and you're going to see Dai Yoshihara next to you in his street class car, it can be a little too much. So we don't allow pro drivers in street class. Again, we don't restrict engine modifications. If we had to make a horsepower cap, then we should be traveling around the country with a dyno. It's the only way to enforce that. So we don't feel that's the right way to go. We don't allow sequential transmissions unless they came with it. You know, we've got a lot of the dual clutch transmissions are really starting to show up. But we do allow moderate aero.
46? 46 by the end of the weekend or 46 right now?
Restrictions on all of those. We are looking for a Yokohama Advan, but the problem is due to some
the problems the whole world's running into right now.
Yeah, I mean we can blame it on
That's a bullshit rule too. Fuck that tire rule.
It's supply issues.
It said Wildries and Amir.
They have to be 200 tread wear. Max width is going to be 265 all-wheel drive and 295 for front and rear. We get this question a lot, so I want to be clear. The reason there's that difference is obviously all-wheel drive cars have grip on all four corners. You can't allow an all-wheel drive car to run what a front or rear-wheel drive car runs on tire size. It just isn't fair. People complain about it, but when you look at how close the lap times are between the two, it makes complete sense.
Yep. Yeah,
I feel like this class is fucking dead this year.
had years of
I think this class is gonna be dead next year too, because all those guys that were running crazy ass times are moving up. And I don't feel like the guys that are staying in the street aren't going to be able to beat those times that those other guys left behind.
Yeah, though they would love to. Limited class is the breach between the two. We're going to run through these quickly as cars are going out. Limited class is the first class that allows pro drivers. Sequential transmissions are allowed, but they have to be hand shifted.
Must use the AO52. That's fucking retarded, dude. Stupidest rule ever. Garbage ass tire.
Splitter can be disgustingly large. Advan AO52 is still the spec.
End of the weekend.
Obviously, with
I could see it.
we're allowing to go back to the 60 tread wear.
I think they're going to get pretty close to their end of the weekend time right now. I mean, this is probably the best conditions they'll have.
Jump to unlimited class here.
We'll see.
This is the pinnacle class. This is what Paul and I sit and dream about and talk about at night. The Life Motorsports, the Professional Awesome, Project Import, all of these guys that are out here with a car built to the nines. It is exactly how it sounds. It's unlimited. Sequential transmissions. Aero mods are open. You want to put a 47-foot splitter on your car? Well, you're not taking a corner. So that's why it's open. People will build the aero to what the car can handle. And this is the class that allows slicks. Pro Comp is more of a exhibition class. This is run what you brung, right? This is where people bring two chassis cars. You have Sean Bassett in his carbon body 240SX, that 240Z, I apologize, that he has ran up Pikes Peak and run with us before. This is a class where we don't always have a lot of competitors in it, but when they show up, they're cars that really turn heads.
Yeah, some people have two chassis cars or a Trans Am car, and they want to come play and they want to come see how they compete, and so we gave them a spot to be, a place to exist.
Oh, absolutely. We want to see people compete. Obviously, classing is exactly that. It's classing.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, they haven't done any track days, I don't think. They haven't done any track days on that car yet.
While we're here and these cars are getting set up, like always, we do always want to give a huge shout out to our media team. These guys at Rev Media, they don't play around. They show up.
What do you think the Type R is going to set?
Days before the event starts. These guys are out in the cold running.
Yeah, I don't think they have either. I don't think they took it to the track yet.
Without them, we wouldn't be able to give you the show we do now. So, as always, huge respect to them being out there. I see my drone pilot actually standing in the freezing cold with his sweater on, and he's the unsung hero of the day. This is going to be Gabe Shadid starting his hot lap. So to give you a quick one, it's going to be Gabe Shadid, followed by Gary Wong.
I think that E90 sets a 51.
Now, this is a car we talk about a lot. That's a limited base class car. It's because of the chassis and how it comes out. You don't get to run street class in a C7 Z06.
No, that's too scary.
Yeah, you have to come out unlimited. Then you have Dai Yoshihara, who's not on paddock yet. I haven't seen him out. Oh, Dai, well, you know what? Dai showed up later, decided he wanted to be last.
Oh shit.
A few things in, so Dai
Oh shit. Here we go.
by either Amir or Will in the M4. Johnny Hernandez starting a flyer behind him. Thomas Smith and his Subaru WRX STI, followed by Jose Mejia. I don't see the Project Import S2000 with Kevin Courtney driving, but I do see Gary Young in his Honda S2000.
I believe the Project Import S2000, they were bleeding the brakes earlier this morning. They were having issues with lockup and no ABS. So they were diagnosing those issues.
Oh, and they absolutely do have ABS in that. The S2000 ABS, as you know, you race an S2000, probably one of the best on the planet for an off.
Damn, they got the Speed Ventures flag workers. Let's go. Where's Danny's torta? Where's Danny's chubby girl? Let's go.
In his S2000 before you see him next year here.
I'm gonna have to figure out what Project Import guys did, because they're having the same problems that I was having, and see what fix they come up with, and I'll have to do it.
Should have the first group of cars coming through right now.
First hot lap coming in. This is going to be Gabriel Shadid. Gabriel is an unlimited class car based on the vehicle.
49-1. Damn.
49-139.
Okay, okay.
That want to follow lap times and look at the laps from previous sessions, look at drivers fastest, slowest.
Come on, fucker.
RaceHero.io is where you can follow this. Once again, exactly how it sounds. RaceHero.io. You can also download the Race Hero app on your Apple or Android phone.
We have Gary Wong coming
Dookie
across the
Dan,
line,
baby.
147.4.
What car was that?
Hernandez coming
The Supra?
across with a 152.7.
Wow, and you know what's funny is Johnny Hernandez was lined up behind Amir and Will. He actually went.
He probably fucked up their lap time right there.
BMW takes longer to come in, or if they were just had an issue on their warm-up lap.
Well, I mean, the Art of Attack car, this is, I believe, its first outing.
Not to cut you off, it does look like the Evasive car has just started their first hot lap. I don't know if you heard that, but
Dai Yoshihara to 43. Holy fuck. What car is that?
Oh, Dai Yoshihara actually laid it down. A 143.883. First lap they've done on the new setup. They snuck around. We didn't even see him start the lap.
I thought he came into the pits, but it ended up actually being the teal R8. Came into the pits after their warm-up lap.
And those of you who followed long enough know that Dai is obviously a shoe, okay? When he first started competing time attack with us, a lot of people would sit and go, man, but isn't he a drifter?
Ah, damn. What is this shit? What is this, dude?
Sit and go, man, but isn't he a drifter?
Okay, here. The fuck? I think these guys' live stream crashed. There we go.
Really get it with that car. And you could really see the attitude of the S2000. Though he's coming into the pits, he really continues to push all the way to the
He's still 2 seconds off of first place. I think limited class can be crazy this year with the competition.
Just incredible.
Yeah, he's absolutely moving. He's trying to keep the car warm. He's trying to keep the tires warm. He's trying to keep the tire pressure up, because even cooling down at the carousel, those tires could drop 1 to 2 psi. So when he comes in the pits, he wants to make sure he's at optimal tire pressure.
51-1 for the M4. God damn. Yep. Stream ended 13 seconds ago. What the fuck, man? Well, as soon as this shit comes back on, I'll have it going again. We'll see. What the fuck, man? What the fuck, man?
Especially like big corners
All right,
on
here
the
we
left
are.
side. You're going to get a lot of heat built up in that left side of the car. So a lot of these teams who have been here before, they're going to set the left side maybe 1 to 2 psi lower, just to compensate for that, so the car's square all the way across. Some people who haven't been here, you know, they're learning, and they got to learn every session. So you got to keep that car warm coming in to check tires.
Oh, absolutely. And I will make a statement that I think to be true. That time that die set down, I highly doubt that's at full power.
No, absolutely not. I know the Evasive guys. They definitely like to ratchet up their program for the weekend. You know, there's nothing worse than going out full bore first session and breaking.
Especially on a new setup like theirs.
Yep.
Though the car is very similar to what he ran at.
Damn, Bailey. So you're saying a 46 for the M4? They got to chop down another 5 fucking seconds.
These teams
It's gonna
never
be tough.
actually get to run the car twice the same because
That
every
S2K is
single
crazy.
event, we are adding things, we're changing small things. And watching their Instagram stories and Facebook, all I've been reading is cars running great on the new setup, got new data. Do I know what they changed? I honestly don't, but I know the Evasive team. And
That fucking
obviously made
hog.
some changes.
Yeah,
They probably gutted that shit, and it probably still weighs like 3,600 pounds.
Had a great weekend, and they only put down 1 lap.
I don't like that car, and I'm not saying like that car specifically. I'm just saying like the G82 chassis, the G8X chassis. Fucking hate it. Fucking ugly ass car, heavy, dumb transmission.
Looks like Gary Young in his Honda S2000 really pushing on the backside. I can't say I've ever seen that vehicle at one of our competitions, but it's pretty obvious there's a shoe behind the wheel.
We got Gabe Shadee come through Sunset.
A little bouncy right there on the entry.
Improve his lap time.
On the exit.
One of the most dangerous corners on this track. People will never understand how hard it is to take
47.6. God damn, he's fucking moving, man.
You're a track guy. You think you know how to take that corner. You got to turn in way earlier than you think. You have to avoid the true apex of the corner because it'll kick you around into this front wall.
Yep. Yeah, Sunset is definitely my least favorite corner.
Bro, these guys' live stream is ass.
The M4 just lost its rear diffuser. I just watched it come apart.
Damn.
Yep, there goes. They're gonna black.
I think Eric had the same fucking issues with his arrow too.
So they're gonna try to get these guys off the track so we can clean it up.
Absolutely, and black flags will give you a couple situations. They'll also throw something called a meatball flag at you. That's if either your taillights aren't working or something is hanging off the car. But they wanted to black flag him immediately, so he knew.
Yeah.
Before Paul, you know, hearing something behind the car, you may not.
Eric Kim had the same issues with his arrow set up on the M2. His fucking wing was coming loose and shit at ACS as well through the bowl. It's pretty rough.
Will driving, by the way, because Will has no problem sending a car with things dangling. There you go, buffeting's gone. It's off. It's off on Riverside.
Yep. Diffuser has come off track too, so that's nice.
One thing I will say though, the Art of Attack car, those guys don't build aero for looks, so the car is absolutely going to feel different. There's the Project Import S2000, Kevin Courtney driving, going out there, seeing if they got their brake issues figured out.
Now, Kevin Courtney hasn't been behind the wheel for, I think he said 6 years, really. Actually, he's done a track day here and there, but in competitive setting, it's been about 6 or 7 years.
It's been many years since he's driven in anger, and that's what it is in competition, driving in anger, trying to set that fast lap. Got a good team behind him, good car behind him. That vehicle has gone up Pikes Peak. That vehicle has competed at Super Lap Battle in Texas. Truth be told, that vehicle has been with Project Import since the early 2000s through many iterations.
What year is that car? Do you know?
It's an AP1.
It is an AP1.
It's an AP1. I can't give you the exact year because I don't remember, but I can tell you that Project Import's owned the vehicle since, or been campaigning the vehicle
All right,
since the
so
early 2000s.
comparing the
I
two
remember
sessions,
Festival of Speed in Las Vegas 2009. That vehicle was there.
I mean,
You
it
know,
seemed
so
like you
that
had
car has
more of
been
the
competing
faster
against the
guys, like
tracks.
the really fast guys setting 41s, 42s in session one, but like those middle pack guys, the limited class guys.
We
Um,
do have the BMW back in. It was their diffuser. The Project Import
Actually, I
S2000
think
went number
Group 1 was
13 on
faster
Android.
overall, actually.
Anytime you hear a sequential
Pretty
shift,
much
you see
every
a little
class.
flame and a little pop on
It
the
sucks
X20. It just
for
throws
the
some shine
M3
behind your
Gabe
flag.
Shadid,
Yeah,
because
they're trying a new.
I mean he's competing against some
I believe it's like
crazy fucking cars in Unlimited.
electronic. What was it? It was electronic wastegate that they're trying, but it's arrowing out. It's having issues. They've been trying to work around the problem.
So if the setup is the same as the last time they ran, they are not. They have an electronic blow-off valve. I know that, but it's not actually a blow-off valve. It's a throttle body that opens and closes. It's a setup that a lot of people have been using in Australia, and you know, blessed, they have a lot of relationships across the world. So they have a great setup on that. They're an M-Tron supported car, so they absolutely get all the love. It does look like Kevin has no problem pushing this car in anger. For someone that hasn't driven in competition in half of a decade, he's having no issue pushing it out there. Let's see what kind of lap time he can lay down. We're 12 minutes into this session, so he will have a little bit of time to lay down this one and possibly another if that's what he's looking at. Let's see what the car looks like through the S's.
What car is this? That Supra? Ah, no shit. I had
Looks
no
like he
idea.
may have aborted that lap. He
That
might be
did
coming
look
in.
that did look like he lifted.
And he's
Absolutely.
got crazy ass aero and carbon fiber everything. I mean, it's pretty wild. I saw his car at Coda for the first time. I've seen his YouTube videos of his hot laps before, and I was like, damn, that car moves. And then you see it in person, and you're like, okay, now I understand how he's able to get this bitch to move the way it does. And I think their live stream just crashed again. Come on, man. He's full straight up got that button willow connection. Shut up, ass crack. My shit is fast. Look at this.
Life one day at a time, my friend.
Yeah, they did run in practice yesterday.
Look at this connection, bro.
Here, and then the brake issues is the other thing.
There we go.
Complaining about. So they're probably just going out, sighting it in, making sure everything's okay. If you can get ahead of the problems early on, you can still get
The Type R,
Let me tell you,
the white one, looked like it had trouble running. It hasn't set a lap time yet. Bro, what is this?
Let me tell you a little something about our.
What the hell, man? What the hell? Alright, this shit's officially offline.
Let me tell you a little something.
Okay. Well, we'll just wait. Fucking retarded.
Let me tell you a little something.
Nah, this shit's down. Okay. Damn, man. So, first two sessions in the book. I don't know if the M4 is going to be able to shave off 5 seconds. Let's say even if they get it fixed up, right? They get the arrow taken care of and strapped down correctly. I mean, unless they're racing or unless they're running like a really low boosted tune right now, which could be the possibility because I've seen a lot of these guys in time attacks where they just kind of run something very
And whoever the
tame.
back is. So I think today we are doing
I
6
don't know.
cars in Group 1, just to
All right, we're
kind of
back live.
give them some space because those cars are so fast. And most of the time they do one lap and then shut it down. And
Got a GT3 with that looks like an APR wing.
And a lot of times competitors are giving us
Oh
something that
man,
they ran in the
I
past.
had a dream last
I
night
think their time's going to be based on the mods. Sometimes they'll be
that
significantly faster, other times they'll be a little bit
I
slower.
sold my
So we want to make sure that
GT3
the
and
speed
bought
differential is correct
a
and that we're
GT4
out there, these guys
in
and
speed
gals
yellow
are
or
out there
racing yellow, whatever the fuck it is.
fast
The same color as
on the
Danny's, right?
peers.
And then somebody else, and I can't remember who,
Yep, and it looks
but
like
somebody else from our group of friends bought another GT4, same color. And the three of us were driving around town in these fucking yellow GT4s with race headers from Dundon, just ripping, just downshifting.
improve their time
And
to
I met up with my
so with
dad,
that you're going to start
and my
seeing
dad was like,
more street cars, less unlimited
What'd you
cars,
drive here? What'd you
less
take here?
limited
Is that a
cars, and
street
you might
bike?
start seeing some really
I was like,
fast
no, it's a
GT
fucking
cars out there
GT4.
in
This is a
Motorsport.
dream too. It's really weird. But
Absolutely. And to give you guys a quick
when
shout
we
out,
all pulled
anybody
up with
also
Danny
looking for
in
some
other
racing
GT4s
name
in fucking speed yellow,
Group 3 being lined up right now,
dude was tripping.
down by Ryan Novak. Ryan Novak and his Porsche 911 GT3. Oscar seems to be driving in this session, though. Thank you, Paul.
Actually, Oscar is the driver.
So Ryan registers himself as a driver and doesn't get in the car.
I told him about that. He fixed it.
Then we have Maxwell Lizowski in his BMW 328i. Jarrell Natividad in his GR Supra. Jarrell's had that car since the Supra came out.
This would be an interesting group for the limited class, I think.
Peter Tuchinishki in the street class RS Impreza. Jeremy Lauder in his ZL11LE. That's an unlimited class car. JP Armour in his BMW 318. I don't think I've seen him compete since the Evo.
No, he hasn't competed since the Evo. And then he was doing a lot of campaigning with Daniel Albrecht's.
That's right,
Subaru.
Absolutely.
Yep.
They were working together, doing a great job.
Yep.
Who has now become a drifter, by the way.
Looks like we have a body panel loose.
Ooh,
God
I
damn.
don't know if that's a tire blowout. My
Nah, it
guess
looks like his
is
front wheels locked up.
Yeah, it's a tire blowout. He's losing the carcass right now.
Oh, he is, yeah.
We have, after JP Armour, CJ Van in his Subaru Impreza STI, Alex Roy in his BMW M3, James Taylor in a Datsun 260Z.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit up.
Gotta love it. It looks like Kevin, with the Project Import team, is trying to slowly make his way around. He does know that he has a tire blowout. It is very possible that if the carcass stays on there, he can make it around, but he may be doing some damage to the fender too. So
He may be? Bro, that shit is fucking flapping like it's talking.
a long time. He's not trying to be a session to break down, but at the same time, I don't think he wants to create a debris field on Riverside either.
Yeah, and we're 19 minutes into this 20-minute session, so I think he's just thinking if he can limp it back to the pits, they can launch the next guys and not have to tow him in.
Absolutely. We also have in a Mitsubishi Evo 8, Joseph Nacion. We're big Evo fans around here, okay? I'm not going to lie. Nick Steniford and Savannah Little in the S2000. It's great to see Nick back here on the West Coast.
Yep.
He received our one and only, the Spirit of Time Attack Award?
Yes, the Spirit of Time
The
Attack.
Spirit of Time Attack Award that we had JD give to him because I would not have been able to without crying.
Smart move.
Nick
No,
Steniford
just turn.
takes him out.
Fuck.
Jeff Ting and Young T in the Honda.
I was gonna drive
CBR.
all the way
It's actually
down.
It signed up for something else, but it didn't fit within the classing. Though we still want them to out there and run, we will allow them to run an exhibition, so it won't be in true competition. But they still get to go out there, set their lap times, and get the car ready for the next year. We have Jake Graham and his Subaru WRX, and then
Yo,
Corey
Bailey,
Ryder in his
when you put a
Subaru
S54 and an
WRX.
E36 and you throw some aero on it,
Quite a few in this group,
why
so
not?
they're the
Why
guys
not
to
do
beat.
GTA, bro?
Yeah, there is.
Because I feel like
there's
at
been a
that point,
wall of Subarus. There's definitely
you put the
been a wall of
S54,
Evos
you do the
last
aero.
year.
I'm sure you'll do wider
This
front
year,
fenders and
we
rear
have,
fenders.
I think 5 or 6 or 7.
You'd be fast as
Subarus
fuck.
out there this year.
Probably take limited class, I would say, pretty easily.
It does look like Kevin is smart.
Limited right now, the best time is a 47.4.
Doing everything in his power to
Kevin Burke ran a 48 flat. Lawrence Yoon in the GT3 ran a 48.7. So the times are like right there, which is pretty crazy too, because I've seen this in the past where limited class is like fucking 43s.
It looks like we do have safety on track. They are going to kind of follow along and make sure
I think you could definitely get
there's no
there,
debris
even
out
like
in
a
the field.
45 with all that setup and
We
your
don't want
skill
any
behind the wheel.
flat tires early, body parts, carbon fiber, things like that, because we did have some
It
body
sucks, man. I
parts
really wanted to
damaged
see what that white Type R set down, the Art of the Attack Type R. That shit looks fucked. No aero small tire. I mean, so you throw all that shit on, we're talking limited class. You'd have to drop down to 100 tread wear, but I mean, I'm sure you know of tires for that.
Well, good thing he has quite a few S2000s he's put them on already.
Yes.
We do have track safety again going out, checking for debris, getting the entire track cleaned up. Obviously, this car has laid out some good debris out there, so.
God damn, the longest fucking in lap of my life, bro. Let's go. What is this, dude? Are they fucking trying to? This is a chopper gunner from Call of Duty or what? The air gunship where you change the gun and it zooms in different levels?
This is probably one of those instances where it'd be great to have audio with the driver, a headset, just to let them know, hey, probably best if you just park it. We'll get a flatbed out there for you.
Fuck no. Get his ass off track.
Completely understood why he drove it around. He lost a tire in the first eighth of the lap, and it's the very end of the session. He wants to get the car in. He wants to make sure.
Come on, man. We're about to lose this live stream again, dude. I feel like every 8 minutes. Yep, it's down again. How long did it last this time? I think they're like consistently 8 minutes long. Let's see. 7 minutes, 24 minutes, 4 minutes. Okay, pretty inconsistent here. All right, well, we'll just wait for another one to pop back up. I think next group will be pretty interesting, though, for limited and street class. I think that's where the majority of the competition's at in Group 3, which, pretty crazy. Also, I don't know that I've seen all the cars out there just yet for Group 1, because Group 1 only had 6 cars running, and Group 2 had, what, I want to say 10 or 12? So, there could be some dudes just praying that they can land that one run. Here we go. We're back.
Not as sharp as carbon fiber, though they are the same base material. It's very important to make sure that nobody takes another puncture. We don't have an issue on track. We do have.
It is kind of strange that he took a puncture on track. You don't really see that too often at Button Willow unless somebody's kicking up some rocks on track.
I will tell you, as a S2000 guy, I really, really like that special attack carbon fiber bumper. Our boy Christian over here at Time Attack News has started a carbon company, and he started doing some S2000 parts that definitely have caught my eye.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, I've actually held that bumper before. It's a pinky. You hold that thing with a pinky.
Man.
Careful, your car is almost done, Paul. It's not time to start changing the game here, okay?
Change anything. I just need to drive it.
Preach to me right now.
Hopefully we get Group 3 out here pretty soon.
Oh, it delammed. Do you see it, Paul? It didn't. It was a straight delamination.
I wonder what tire that was.
Yeah, I do see
It's either Aerial 52 or CR1.
Maybe there was some rubbing issues. or maybe it was just a failure on the shoulder.
Honestly, all the years of running these tires, I have never seen anything like that.
No, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a DLAM at a GTA event.
No, absolutely not. And it's crazy because I thought we were seeing
The only 200 treadwear that I know of that D-lams like that is the RT660, so
for those of you that don't know how a slick is made,
could have been.
Tire. It's not just a piece of rubber.
Unless that guy's limited class.
Tire, and then there is the tread. Given the tread is flat because it's a slick, the tread is still on the carcass.
Talking about slick, so it's got to be.
Carcass pulled off of the tire. That is just not something I've ever experienced.
Shit. I think he will. I think he's gonna go 39. But is he in this group or group 1? Because that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think we are going to be down for a few minutes. They're gonna
usually group 1 doesn't, or group 3 doesn't have the really fast limited guys. And I only saw 6 in group 1. So I think they might be just holding out for just one run, send it, and go home.
If you want to look up previous times of previous sessions, racehero.io is the website. Download Race Hero on your app store, be it Apple or Google.
Yeah, it was. I saw it. I saw it on their Instagram, on GTA's Instagram. Come on, man. I wanted this shit to be over with so I could go watch the F1 quali race, the sprint race. How far do you guys think Magnussen's going to drop back on the sprint race? If you guys have been following that. Jason, I know you're in the F1 league with me, but I don't know if you're still playing it or not, but it does have an effect. Skinny guy fat shits, what's your opinion on this? So just so you guys know, I have a fantasy F1 league. It's $100 per entry. First place gets 75% of the total pot, second gets 25, and then third gets their money back. So it's like a podium system, first, second, third. This is obviously the second to the last race of the season, and I pretty much secured it. My team was unbeatable all year. At one point, I was ranked number 3 in the entire fucking world. Right now, I'm ranked 50th. Wow, this shit really just ended. Right now, I'm ranked 50th in the world, which is still pretty damn high considering how many people are competing. So pretty much everyone in my league has no fucking shot. For real, he is. And no one else has a shot for first. I have it pretty much wrapped up, unless somehow I score 0 points, which is impossible. Even if your drivers get a DNF, you still get some points for that, for the laps that they did complete. So mathematically, I'm untouchable right now. But second place has a comfortable lead of 500 points. But the real battle here is the battle for third to get their money back, right? Because no one wants to lose $100. So these guys are really trying to win this shit. The gap between third and sixth is 400 points, and the gap from third to fifth is only 200 points. So it gets extremely close right there. Yeah, I did. I gave myself all the money, Austin. Thank you. So I'm really interested to see how these guys finish the season. Looks like the pot is gonna be about $2,000. There's only 2 guys that I'm gonna give an excuse for, that only set their lineup one time and then just fucking left, and it was an accident. One joined late too, so I'm gonna let those guys pass, and not compete. So that leaves us with 20 competitors. That means 2 grand's on the line, which means first place has a chance to win $1,500. Second has a chance to win 500. And then, oh, yeah, 500, and then first gets their money back or keeps their money. We'll see. We'll see how this shit plays out. Got the street sweeper out there taking care of business. Business. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a cup of coffee and wake the fuck up because this shit's a snore fest right now. All right, I'm back. And okay, so in other news, Jason, you coming to Brazil or not? I want to know right now.
They got that tire off pretty quick. It does look like from this photo that the tire is just completely delaminated. There's nothing we can even say about that.
It looks like it's slick too.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if there's any wear or any rubber on the inside that could show that maybe it was rubbing or something like that.
Absolutely. For all we know, maybe he took a corner really hard and on the inside it went across. Boom. Caused a little issue.
You're such a bitch. Such a bitch. So Jason might be coming to Brazil, but Danny's coming, Augie's coming, and Casey are coming. And they're coming to Brazil. We're going to chill here for a week. We got a karting race like the first or second day that they show up. So that'll be big. And then the weekend, that's on a Monday. And then the weekend following, Thursday through Sunday, we'll be at Interlagos every day. Um, we have a practice we got on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday is the whole race weekend. So we're talking practices, qualifying, and then 2 races. And the cool thing is we're going to be racing on the same weekend as Stock Car. And Stock Car is a Brazilian race league out here, very popular, very big. I mean, all like the legendary Brazilian racers, drivers, retired and new, are pretty much all competing in this race league. So you got Rubens Barrichello, which is he drove F1 for Ferrari. Felipe Mazza, also F1 driver, Ferrari F1 driver. The champ is Gabe Casagrande, and he is the defending champion right now. Wow. He fucked up. Hit up Casey, see if he's going. Who else is in it? Sometimes you get some special guest appearances, especially for Interlagos. Interlagos is, the biggest race of the season. It's the season ender. So yeah, we'll be able to get up and close and personal with those guys. Go into like if we really wanted to, go up right inside their pit box and chill there. So that's pretty dope experience. And those cars are badass. V8 powered. I think it's a Toyota Corolla and then a Chevy Cruze. Just like a NASCAR, but with aero. So pretty dope. Fucking things spit fire. They're loud as shit. And Interlagos is always packed when those guys come to town. So we'll be racing with those guys, which is pretty dope. Not racing on the track with them, but same weekend as them. That's a good experience for these guys that are coming to visit Brazil. Hopefully Austin comes. We'll see. He's kind of in the air. But so far right now, it looks like Augie and Casey are going to be sharing a car. Danny's got his own car. And then I have my own car unless Austin comes, and then I'll be splitting seat time with him, which isn't a big deal. But roughly everything, if you go solo, is $1,200. $1,200 gets you everything: the car, um, all the practices, all the qualifying, and the 2 races. We got them. No precision.
Well, Paul, I would consider that cheating. It looks like he cut half the track.
Yeah, I think honestly though it was still probably not a sub 2 lap.
Ah, but he just set the track.
It's a cheat code right here. You put a shot of God damn it, espresso. Put a shot of espresso in horchata. Shit's fire.
Obviously, you sat on grid, and when the track's cold and they tell you it could be some time, you don't want to sit there ratcheted in, waiting to go. Your nerves are up, you're hyped up. You
Experimenta.
get out and loosen up a little bit.
Muito
Yeah, the
gostoso.
second the belts tighten on that harness, your mind changes and you're in go mode.
Mmm.
Stopping it.
For those of you that have just caught up to us, we had a small little debris field on track from Group 2, Session 1. Tractor went out, cleaned everything up. Now we have Oscar Jackson getting ready to.
All right, here we go.
Session 1. Is this the first session?
There's a 328i in this group. Looks like he's second out. That I have some friends that have some interest in this.
Oscar Jackson. Last time we saw him.
They're thinking he's gonna go sub 50s. S54 swap. Bailey. Bailey, future competition right here. You better watch him.
For those of you that listen and think that I have all this information and I'm some weird-minded person, welcome to Paul. He also remembers these things too. He just won't admit it.
Looks like a lot of limited and street class cars right here.
I can't remember birthdays to save my life, but you want to know the track record here? I got you.
46. 36. 36.
It's a 1 something. It's a 137 XXX. I'm never going to throw out the decimals off the top of my head. It is still held to this day by William Alyoung in his version 2 of his Honda Civic, correct?
I remember that.
In version 1.
I believe it was version 1.
Yeah, so he set the record in version 1. We do have a unlimited all-wheel drive record held by David Hagsma, which I'm sure both Life and Pro are chasing. Given they're both chasing the overall. Tom O'Gorman, oh my goodness. Do you remember when Tom O'Gorman was here last? In the Pro Can Jam.
Wow. Okay.
So when Can Jam won the event overall on the final lap, Tom
Got a
O'Gorman
fucking
was on
shard of glass in my foot right now, dude.
Oh yes, I do remember that.
And like the true competitors,
My girl dropped a whole glass window on the ground.
to allow Can Jam.
Whole fucking glass window. Broke that shit.
He parked it completely off
And we're
the
still
line, so Can Jam
finding
could
shards
finish
of glass
without having to
on the
slow down.
floor.
And Tom doing that won them the event.
Yep. Yeah, and out here it's not about blocking. It's not about any of that.
All right, what do you guys think the ZL1 1LE sets down? Because that's a pig of a car. Unless that thing's like
People in a lot of different motorsports.
carbon fiber body and stripped completely, I can't see it going sub 45s, even with aero.
Out here is trying to help each other go faster.
I'm going to call it right now. I think I see a 48 out of that car.
Blew up and swapped it into the Pro A car so they can get a flyer in.
A lot of surprising results, I'm not going to lie.
Pro Law completely rebuilt their motor with a crank. I mean, they put the crank in the engine. It's a 4G63, 4G64 crank. Like the whole setup is Frankenstein.
Yep.
And they got someone to deliver them a crank, and they set a lap after that, you know? But like you said, no one here wants to win because of attrition. People want to win on raw merit. We've seen competitors help other competitors get their car back on track.
Come on, dog. How fucking bad can this string possibly be? Jesus Christ. Oh, fucking hell. These guys got some work to do on his fucking stream, man. Well, when the new one pops up, we'll be ready to go, but this is ass. I got nothing up yet. All right, here we are.
It does look like Jeremy Lauder is getting out of the way of
Closed captions.
the Amore Autosports BMW. It took
There we
me a
go.
second to realize what that logo was on the side. I'm so used to the Amore car being an Evo that I had to stare at it for a second.
Yeah, but I don't know if you got a chance to look under the hood of that car.
LS?
2J.
Ah, fantastic. I appreciate everything about that. It's just so natural to ask LS.
Got the
because
Evo out there. Let's go.
It's the K series of the rest of the world. You know what I mean?
It's the 8-cylinder K series.
Or like, you know, the way people explain it is the 2J is the LS of the Japanese world.
Yeah, it's just
Swap it in everything.
It's a long motor. It's hard to swap it in everything.
I would just say Barra everything personally, but that motor is even harder to put into things.
And harder to get here.
Jason, you still here? Isn't that
Crawford Subaru was getting out of the way there.
Jarrell,
They
the
were coming to the bus
54?
stop all cattywampus right there, so I think they felt their lap was probably already being hindered, so they got out of the way. Jarrell Natividad, fastest lap of this session so far, with a 154.220.
Look at this grouped up clunk of shit going on here.
Jeremy Lauder did get out of the way of a couple cars, so I'm sure we'll see him go a little bit faster than the 202, 203 he just laid down.
Kind of sucks, man.
Oscar Jackson is reeling in a couple cars. He is moving out there.
Yeah, and I don't know how long it's been since he's personally driven Button Willow, but I'm sure it's been a minute since he's driven it in competition. So he's probably just getting up to speed.
Yes, but Oscar is a phenomenal driver. He can wheel just about any car out there and wheel it fast.
It does look like this EK hatchback had a little off a few seconds ago, so we're just tracking him, making sure he's okay. One of the drivers in this car is actually Jeffrey Ting, who is very well known for his enthusiast class Honda Civic Type R. Young T is not a driver that I've personally have met yet, but obviously teaming up with Jeff, it's great to see a seasoned driver with someone else out there. Hopefully they can really lay down some laps once they get it all figured out.
Jason said his power went out in Irvine. He's no longer with us. Lives in the hood of Irvine, apparently.
That's Joseph Nacion with a 202 in his Evo. Nick Steniford also with a 202 in his S2000. It is Nick and Savannah registered in the car. I'm going to assume Nick is driving.
Pretty sure that E36 just ran a 56.
Yeah, I believe Nick posted a new PB.
I think they're just dealing with a lot of traffic right now because these times are very they're not on par with the other limited and unlimited times that we've seen, or street class.
Is what we all want to achieve. We want to do it where it's held somewhere someone can see.
Yep.
Setting a lap time out of competition is not something that's held in any record books because there's, number one, no one there to verify the car was within class or spec, et cetera, et cetera. So no one wants to set a PB on practice day and then not do better during competition.
Oscar hanging it out there.
Looks like these guys could be on a flyer right here.
Someone who's comfortable driving with a little bit of angle in the car. Funny enough, the last time, I believe, and I hope Novak doesn't have to correct me on this, I believe this is the same GT3 he's had for a while. Clint Wadeau drove this car last time in competition.
All right, here we go,
That's right.
53. Now we're getting on there.
Now,
We're
Clint
getting
Wadeau,
up there.
that's a name from GTA Pass. We don't have to get into that for front-wheel drive car to go sub 2. I am sad to see that Renner did not bring their main car, but I did just see Damien go over all of Peter's car. It's nice to see Damien out there actually having to work the hard side, not just sitting in the car.
Yeah, I believe Renner brought 3 cars that they're supporting out here, so it's always good when a shop like that shows up.
That M3 with the GTS wing on the back. Not the GTS.
Oscar hard on the brakes, wanted to make sure he didn't lose any time going into Sunrise.
I think that GT3 just set a 50.2. Terrell with a 52.9. Starting to get there now.
As we get lower in these groups, as we do based off time differential, we're going to see cars that look less and less crazy because we're getting into the streets and enthusiast class on these. And again, it's great to see these guys out here.
No, the one from the GT3 you're talking about?
Fastest lap in competition.
The GT3 from Coda, if you're talking about the GT3, he set a 48.7. That S54
right
screaming.
Hang a car out. There's a good shot of Sunrise. You know, I'll be very honest with you. No matter how many times I've driven this place or been here, when you're seeing it from the air,
Oh, no.
it takes you a real
Actually,
quick second to realize what portion of the track
it could
you're
be,
on.
huh?
That's gonna be turn 1, turn 2.
I don't know what
complex.
the name of the
Some
driver
the
is, though,
slowest
so I
corners
don't
on the
know
track.
what times he's setting.
Though this part of the track doesn't make or break your lap, it does make a big difference on how you come in here into Cottons. I will say, and I've heard many drivers say this, between Cotton Corner and Phil Hill is where your entire lap is made or broken.
Yeah, you can really do some damage to your lap, especially through bus stop and things like that in this corner. And you can get a judge of how fast people are actually going just by their entry and exit in bus stop.
Absolutely, and as everything here, you know, compounds off one another, if you have to slow down through the truck stop, bus stop complex, your speed to Riverside is compromised. Your speed to Riverside is going to take you to Phil Hill, where you naturally have to slow down. You want to carry as much speed from Cottons to Phil as physically possible. Then, of course, it's all about being precise, going through the sweeper to the S's, making sure your braking point into Sunset is good and your turn in. Those are obviously very important to your lap, but every driver will tell you if you make a mistake from Cottons to Phil, it's not going to be a PB.
Yep, and as we just saw on the live stream, Novak walking around his car taking tire pressures. They're currently sitting with a 150.22. So they are moving out there, getting a little data and feedback from Oscar, and they're going to probably go back out and hit another flyer.
Well, knowing Oscar and knowing Novak, they just want to make sure tire temps are good, and I don't really see them trying to park it till the next session.
Damn, man. I feel like watching other GT cars makes me just want to go fucking race.
What was the lap time that Nick sent in practice? Do you know?
I'll have to look it up. I think he posted it on Facebook.
Was it faster or slower than a 55.9?
I'm not sure.
All right, fantastic. I love putting you on the spot, my friend.
Yep,
Nick just laid down a 155.96. Now, to be fair, he is classed an unlimited class car, but it's because
The S54 E36 down to a 52.1.
in this car, he runs NASA in this car. We do have a personal best from Nick. The last time he sent practice was a 56.0, so big shout out to him and his team. Already going faster in what we would call not the money session. I think the next session is probably the money session. Track's going to be warmer, air temps is still cool. Obviously, people going off through bus stop is always going to be a problem here. You're always going to have dirt there. But for the most part, the track is clean, and these guys probably love it because the sweeper.
I actually haven't seen too many guys go crazy off a bus stop and dirty up the track.
Really great. Air temp's still cool. The other thing that some people don't think about is the sun is higher in the sky, so it heats up the track better, and it's out of your face when you're coming down that straight into turn one. It can be blinding for the first session of the day and the last session of the day.
Oh, it's the worst when you're actually turning into bus stop and the sun.
ZL1 51.9. Honestly, man, these guys should have just waited till these guys cleared off the track and then set some flyers, because it looked like they were dealing with a lot of traffic with these slower cars right off the bat. You look at the time differences. We're talking 10 fucking seconds, man. Like,
They definitely are.
you're not gonna be able to set the lap times you want when you got a guy running a 203 in your run group. It's just not gonna happen.
That's Jake Graham and his Subaru. Jake Graham is someone that we see at almost all of our events, honestly. They have a very, very beautiful WRX with it's an F80 car. I do remember that. It's not an EJ car, and they've really pushed the limits with that chassis. They're going fast. They go faster every event. It's great to see the driver get more and more comfortable with the car. The thing that a lot of people don't realize, and Paul understands this just as well as I do because we deal with so many sides of this sport, is people look at the times that competitors set and go, man, they're fast. But what they don't look at are the years it took for them to get there. The events, the sleepless nights, the coming and setting up, changing setup little by little just to go fast. And it's so good to see teams coming year after year going faster and faster. All it takes is that one breakthrough year, and all of a sudden you go from a mid-pack driver to the very front.
Yeah, and that's the name of the sport, right? It's just
that's that Bimmer Challenge lifestyle, baby.
You want to look at if you want to really corporate about your word choice. Continuous improvement is what we're looking at for time attack. Whether the car hasn't changed, maybe the driver's just.
If you guys don't know, and you're in SoCal, there's a Alpine Star sale, parking lot sale going down today in West Covina, I think. Let me see if I have it screenshotted still, but if you need a race suit or gloves, like, that's where you need to be at right now. Dirt cheap. Those garage sales are.
And then he showed back up, and it was record.
Oh yeah, you guys got Chuck Waller next weekend. I don't have it screenshotted for the address, and this isn't any type of advertisement for it, but I'm just saying, trying to help you guys out. They have a lot of badass shit for sale for like dirt cheap. Anything from regular clothes to race suits, race shoes, boots, gloves, all the shit for karting too. So if you're a karter, dirt cheap. I don't think anybody's gonna go any faster this session. No one's gone faster at all. So it looks like Jarrell's 3 seconds off of getting a podium right now.
Light switch, boom, and then all of a sudden they're out there and they're competing with the fastest of limited class.
I think if you want a podium in street class, you're gonna have to be sub 50 for sure. You're gonna have to be in the 49s, probably a 48. And then this year it looks like limited class. You're gonna have to be about a 46 to get the dub. We've only seen one session so far, and I think the best time I've seen was a 47.7, 47.6. I think by the end of the weekend, they'll definitely be down in the 46s, maybe even a 45, which would be pretty insane.
But even if you do everything right, you run into a tire delamination. You run into a catastrophic failure. You run into an ABS unit failing. It's how you come out of these things that really make the difference between a team that will succeed and a team that won't.
This Subaru I really want to see.
Shake my car down before I came out here because I know Button Willow is a cruel mistress, and the biggest.
Not that blue one, that yellow one.
The car wanted to rattle itself apart, so we were tightening every bolt, Loctiting everything after each session because bolts were trying to fall out, and it's just some of those things that you just can't prepare for until you're at the track. You can't shake a car down on the street.
Oh, absolutely, and that's the best. Luckily, what I will tell you is a lot of these competitors are not one-time Andes. You know, they don't just come out and go, oh, I liked her, oh, I didn't. I don't think you get into time attack like that. You work your way up to this, and once you've made the decision that I want to do this, you do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the people that come run with us and continue to run with us, they might start as a crew member for one of the guys out here, and they really fall in love with the sport and how we run it, and they might have their own car and they might say, hey, you know what, I want to actually try this, I want to jump into this, and you'll see a team start showing up with a second car, or they'll shift focus to another driver in another car.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And like every other sport, there's attrition. You know, life happens. God forbid, vehicle gets damaged. Takes a long time to bring it back. But I think that's what we love the most. I mean, we've been watching the Crawford car go around. That car was actually campaigned by Crawford. You know, the engine building company, the shop.
Yep.
And they put it away in a dark corner one day, and then bam, someone bought it and said, "I'm competing this car in time attack." Just to see it come back, it's a rebirth. You're actually doing the same thing. Funny enough.
Yep. I remember seeing the Crawford car at the modified mag tuner shootout.
God damn, these are some long ass sessions. I'm fucking.
That was in Arizona, right?
Yeah, at Wild Horse Pass. It was fun at that time.
Come on, new group, let's go.
Me into time attack. I went to this. That was my first track event that I went to, and I saw these crazy cars, and I was like, I want to be a part of this because this is cool.
Well, see, what ruined your life is you moved to Arizona, you got linked up with the mad scientist Tony Zerka at UMS Tuning, and now every bit of extra money you have that's not involved with remodeling your house or paying for your child goes into your car.
Yep, and unfortunately, it's not a lot. So, but we're doing the best we can, and in the time that the car's been down, I managed to pick up a Miata just for some seat time to keep it fresh, and just help me stay sharp.
And you picked up becoming a hairdresser for a little extra money. So, I mean, I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, it's good. It's, you know, a little side gig.
We do have the lull. The cars are coming off. What you do see out there right now, that's going to be Group 4 Session 1 getting ready, okay? Group 4 Session 1.
Yeah, for real. It's exciting for like the first 5 minutes of every session, and then after that, it's just like, fuck, now we're just waiting for these dudes to come off. I'm looking at Will Dree's Instagram right now because I just found it again. I was trying to find it to see, but I couldn't remember who it was to see that guy with the single seater that Jason's probably going to be competing against at COTA if this guy shows up. We don't know if he is. We do know that there's another LMP car signed up for COTA right now, so he's definitely going to have someone else to compete with, but we'll see.
Able to redo the whole schedule, keep us on track, get the cars out there, get them all the time they need. So,
but this is the car.
Cars come in from their laps and their session, we'll get ready to throw Group 4 out there. For those of you curious who is in Group 4, I'm gonna throw some names at you. We have Aaron Gong.
Big ass wing with shit.
A Pro Comp car for Time Attack. Great to see him out there. He takes that across the states. He's ran Super Lap, Grid Life with it.
Full carbon body.
Robert Robles.
Shit looks like it's gonna be a monster.
Richard Klein, which is gonna be another.
And we lost the live stream already. Fuck me, man. Fuck me. Yeah, it's down. For real, man. Jason just needs to buy a set of soft slicks, like the actual designated softs, and just fucking go ham on the either the first session of a day, probably the first session day would be best because waiting for the one lap showdown. Waiting for the one lap showdown would kind of be a little risky, especially as the track conditions degrade over the day. So having those bitches ready to go from right off the bat, right in the morning, I think that's his best bet. But that car looks insane. I mean, I don't think that guy's looking to compete wheel to wheel with it. I don't. I don't know the guy though, so I don't know exactly. This is ass, man. These guys really have a really shitty live stream here. Alright, I'm gonna stop being impatient because all we're gonna do is turn back on the damn live stream and then sit around and snore for another 5 minutes while this group gets done. We got the sprint race in an hour and a half as well. And it's probably gonna rain too. We'll see. Oh shit. Free practice 2, Ocon on top, Sergio Perez second, Russell third, Alonso fourth, Verstappen fifth, Hamilton sixth, Gasly seventh, Schumacher eighth, Magnussen ninth, Lando Norris in 10th, Carlos Sainz in 11th, Tsunoda, Leclerc, Danny Rick, Bottas, Latifi, Stroll, Vettel, Zhou, and looks like Williams had a guest driver for their second car spot. Because I don't recognize these initials for Williams. SAR. It's got to be one of the development drivers. Man, it's gonna be interesting, man. Russell's been pretty damn good all weekend in practices. Yesterday he qualified third on some bullshit. I don't like this rule by F1, how a driver can crash out in qualifying and they still keep the spot that they finished at. So like Russell, for instance, he got the third fastest lap time of the race and then fucking crashed out. And that was right at the beginning of qualifying. And so what that did was that secured Kevin Magnussen a pole and so basically solidified all the times because they couldn't go back to green. But at the same time, that also gave George Russell that third place lap. And I don't think that should be a thing. I really think that if you crash out, there's got to be some sort of penalty for fucking up the rest of qualifying and keeping your spot that you had. I think that should be the penalty that you take. Is just that lap gets erased because it just seems like bullshit, man. And we've seen it in the past too with Leclerc at Monaco. I think it was last year. What's up, AJ? I think it was last year we saw Leclerc smack the wall after going pole, and Verstappen was on a fucking heater right behind him and couldn't finish his lap. These guys haven't got the stream back up yet. Kind of strange. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. New group up. I think that rule's just got to change. I think it's fucking ridiculous that these guys are able to keep their lap times. I'm not really a fan of George Russell either. The more and more the seasons pass by, the more and more I don't really care for him too much. He complains a lot. He's usually crashing into people and then thinks that they're in the wrong. Not a fan.
The time trial cars are out there, even in the TTU, even in this, even in that, are still able to run multiple lap after lap, where a time attack car is usually built to a little bit more of an extreme, especially in the unlimited class, and is also not able to go out there. You put a time trial car and a time attack car on track, for the one lap, the time attack car is probably
damn boys, bouncing off the rev limiter.
But for the session, the time trial car is just going to wave goodbye.
Yep, and we, again, perfect example of that. We brought Tony's Time Attack Evo.
Got a Mustang.
For NASA Nationals one year, and we were able to come home on the top step. And that comes down to Tony being able to throw it down for one lap. And he was going up against some heavy hitters, and those guys would be out there for 20 minutes, lapping, trying to get faster. And I myself am that style of driver. I get faster, I get more confident the more laps I turn. And now being a time attack driver, I have to learn how to give it 110% first lap.
That's the time attack driver, right? They just have to be able to turn it on like a light switch.
So we do have our cars all have taken the green flag and started their first flyer. We do have a pretty wild, I believe it's a TT1 Corvette out there. I have a feeling he's going to move up in the groups pretty quick because he is, TT1 is a pretty dang fast class out there.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's run with us, and I think he was just kind of cautious about where he put his
For
time.
those watching, people just saw the speed differential going into bus stop, and these are two cars that run very similar lap times, though they're obviously getting them in two different places. As Paul said earlier, anyone that's driven it, bus stop is blind, so if you don't actually completely understand the corner, you slow down very early, where the car behind him picked up, I want to say, 6 car lengths in the brake zone.
Yeah, Zachary Sober is a monster behind the wheel. We've seen him pilot McLarens with
Vipers.
us, Vipers.
That's the guy that finished second place at Coda.
He knows this track, even though he's not
Beat
from
me
out
out
here,
by
but
half a
he's got
second.
Pretty good sense of this
Or
track.
2
And
tenths.
you can always tell that by how somebody takes bus stop.
Absolutely. And how confident they are going into sunset.
Damn, that shit looks crazy.
The session is Aaron Gong in his BRZ, followed by Ryan Dusex, and then Mark A. Lager in that TT1 Corvette.
Don't hold me to that. I think it's a TT.
You know, I'm going to hold you to everything you said. We got Mark Yeager at a 202.
Yeah, that C7 got a
Zach Sober, just like that.
There
We're
it is.
talking about he's a shoe.
C7 got a swan neck on it.
He bullied him, but he caught up so fast to the car in front of him that the car actually aborted its lap to let Zach go through Riverside clean. And with that, Zach did a 156.6 in his enthusiast car.
Now it might be a little bit questionable on some of that. A lot of times you like to give people their first laps, and he kind of bullied them out of the way. So we don't endorse that kind of behavior. But with these first sessions, it's tough because some of these guys out here have guessed on their track time, on their times, and so we had to grid them based on that. After lunch, all these guys will be in order on their grid position.
No, and it really does come down to drivers leaving the gaps. Now, I will say that I was watching the warm-ups. There was a true gap between Zach and him. Zach wasn't,
It's a Tesla on track. I haven't actually seen the Tesla on track. Has anybody seen the Tesla on track?
That's on them to ruin their
It was on their IG, but I didn't see nothing.
very quickly. He just
I haven't
caught up
seen
like
shit
was
from it.
nothing. And he's obviously finished his hot lap because he just let 2 cars through and truck stop. That's another thing that I love about our competitors. Any of you guys been to a track day where you're waiting for a point by this and that and you get frustrated?
Oh, somebody went off.
Competition, someone not get out of the way in
Who
the
dat? Who dat?
position not to hurt your lap.
The C7.
It comes down to a respect thing. You're trying to get out of the way. You're trying to save somebody else's lap.
Well, it looks like we did have a big spin here into the S's. It looks like that Corvette went around through sweeper, probably tried to save it into the first S and then just backed off on track. Now, we do have rules. Every track event has rules. You go 4 off, you're coming in to get checked out. But honestly, that didn't look too bad at all. He's going to come in, his team's going to look at it, and then the GTA staff is going to look at it. They're going to give him the okay to go back on track, and then he'll be out there. I got to say, you really got to be pushing it to spin after sweeper, though.
Well, the problem
Yeah,
with sweeper
got on
is
throttle too
visually,
quickly.
It's a little
Maybe spun off the curb.
distracting 'cause it kind of looks like it tightens up on you, and if the back end starts stepping out, there's no real room to catch into that slide. So it can be easy to come around on you. Take it from a person who tracked an S2000.
TT1, TT2. I think it's got some pretty good aero on it. Front splitter, canards, swan deck wing. Pretty fucking high too. Pretty tall.
Both will get you a similar
He's unlimited.
but a lot of people want to late apex it to scrub speed. The people that tend to double apex are those that actually race cars wheel to wheel because you don't want to leave the inside open.
It's a line placement. You want to block the line. You don't want to open the door for somebody.
It's hard to believe that car's unlimited.
There is a lot of tracks have on their sweepers.
Because TT1 runs slicks.
Can be taken single or double, and I've raced a lot of tracks.
And it looks like my battery's about to die. If my battery dies, I'll just drop the webcam.
a certain line, whereas rear-wheel drive will take a different
Get
line.
this on the charger and
Yeah,
then be back
absolutely. And
up
the thing about
for
it is
second
you
session of the
gain the
day.
same lap times with coming into different speeds. You go in and you late apex it, so you scrub all your speed. You try to double apex it, so you're more precise. Personally, I'm of the belief that late apexing is better because it allows you to carry more speed into the S's, but I've always driven lower horsepower cars, you know, where you get to carry the speed in. You talk to a lot of guys with higher horsepower cars, they actually want to double apex it, diamond that corner so they can just carry as much speed through the S's as possible.
Yeah, the big thing is I know with driving my car has a very large turbo. Well, not large in some of the
Yeah,
specs,
C6, not
but
C7. I kept thinking
the
I
boost
kept
does
saying
come on
C7.
quick and hard. So I want to get that car as straight as possible before that happens, or else that back end's coming out from under me. And coming through the bus stop, we do have 2 cars that were hanging out at SEMA.
I think the
They came
second
out
session
very
starts at
soon to
4 o'clock, or sorry,
And to be honest with you,
1
both of
o'clock
those Audi FRSs and BRZs, and what's
PST.
funny is they are running almost identical lap times.
So
Like,
that's
I want to say one is
6
slowing the other
o'clock my
down, but
time.
that wouldn't be true at all. They literally are just right there with each other.
I'm not sure though.
As far as engines go, they weren't too crazily modified. They do have 2 completely different body kits on, and it's kind of interesting to see how well it affects their handling.
Let me see if there's a fifth group going down.
No one has been able to touch Zachary Sober's time of a 156.689, though Ryan Dusex got close with a 56.902. Got Aaron Gong at a 57.9, great lap for that enthusiast FRS BRZ. Sofiane Fraval at a 158.969, followed by Curtis Poe.
All right, here we are. Session 2
It's great to see top 6 cars
at 10. Session 2 is at 10:10. It says.
We'd still like to talk about that. People are out of their mind these days. You got street class cars doing 45s for Christ's sake. So people don't realize how hard it is. Oh, we have the Mustang going through bus stop, putting 2 off right there. People don't understand that going sub 2 minutes here is still an achievement. You have track guys that have come here for years that have never touched that barrier.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I did 7 laps and I only managed a 202. And I'll say it, 600 horsepower. And
To all his sponsors listening, he's not telling the truth. Okay, he's fast, I promise.
No, but no, the sub 2 mark has always been, I've been coming here for about 10 years now, and the sub 2 mark has always been that pivotal thing. But back in the day, it was you're not fast unless you're sub 2, and I feel like it's changed to you're not fast unless you're sub
55. I think depending on class, but honestly, we're to the time where you literally have to be sub 50 to be fast.
Yeah, I considered fast, and that's kind of a judge. It's always.
You hear that, Jason? Sub 50 to be fast, motherfucker. You're not that fast, all right?
Are running 51s, 52s consecutively.
Yeah, you got bone stock Supras out here running quick times.
You got Supras on wheels, tires, suspension, intake, exhaust, doing 52s, 53s.
Yeah, I mean, the
Who the fuck's doing a 52, 53 on a stock ass STI? Man, just ran a 56.6, pretty much a 56.7. Talking about that car running a 52. If they're running a 52, come on now.
These new cars with technology, that C5
Let's see that shit.
did a 58. Stock body, no aero. I have no idea what's under the hood, but I'll be honest with you, it didn't sound that wild, and he just did a 58. So
even the 56 though is pretty damn fast for a stock STI.
There's no way you knock on old
Maybe you got like a tune or something, but even then, still.
on the Civic hatchbacks of the world.
I know guys on F80 cars that aren't even fucking running 56s.
The world needs more Chris Boersmas. It needs more James Houghtons and Integras.
A 201 from that Supra. Or what is that? I don't fucking know. BRZ.
Like that, but if you look at things, there's a lot of support coming out for these, S550 Mustangs and the new Supras. These shops are jumping on them the second they come out and trying to really get good performance products on the shelves and in other people's cars. Ooh.
Oh!
There was a deep off. That's pushing to the limits right there.
That's a Corvette again, bro.
You got to see that from beginning to end.
He's really trying to get this shit done.
The dirt on power, and the car got a little squirrely, but once it came up onto the asphalt, he grabbed some traction and he kind of tail whipped over the other side, a little tank slapper over the other side. But he did continue to drive on, so it was pretty clean.
It was absolutely clean. Once again, he's not going to be able to finish that lap. Obviously, he's going to have to come in again and be checked. And that right there is the argument of how hard you push, you know? You want to push to the limit, but you want to reel it in just 5%, because if every time you're putting the car off track, you never get to actually set that lap.
And I'm not saying this is the case, but we do see occasionally some guys come from racing organizations, whether it be NASA, time trial cars, and they come out and they go, I'm fast, I can come hang with you guys, and they really try to push their cars hard, and sometimes it bites them.
Hey, at least he's finding different sections to do it in, though,
yes,
right?
Definitely.
Last time it was a sweeper, this time it was bus stop. But to be fair, that's 2 sections of the track that take full commitment to go fast in. So it's not like he's going off in turn 1.
Yeah, I wonder what type of times that guy's setting on a normal NASA weekend, because
in the areas that is hardest to drive in.
Yeah, I will say probably in order, not in order, but bus stop, sweeper, and sunset are the most important corners on this track. All 3 set you up for the fastest section.
all right,
of
the
track.
battery on the camera just went out, so let me shut this down.
Just in those 3 corners.
And then bring this back up. All right, I'm gonna plug this in real quick. Give me 1 second.
So we do have a couple cars in the hot pits getting checks.
So we have the same Corvette. He's in TT0 orientation right now because he's flying. Then we had Aaron Gong followed by Mark Yeager. All of those teams being checked. And what's funny is that's 3 classes of car. People really think that only the unlimited cars get checked. No, these guys are out here to compete and win. You have a unlimited class car with an enthusiast car behind him, with a street class car behind him, all checking tire temps, tire pressures. Now, do they all have the same equipment? Probably not. But as someone who has been around this sport forever and tracking forever, sometimes all you need is tire pressure to figure out what's going on, and you just grow from there.
Yeah, data really is key to growth. Just knowing where you're at, where you're going to be, and then next time you come out here, you say, "Hey, I need to shoot for 32 psi on these tires for this."
All right, here we go.
And that's honestly half the reason why all those years we had a spec tire was so good. I mean, again, we hate supply chain issues. We really hope the world gets more normalized next year and we can really push harder. But having Yokohama here, the engineers here telling drivers, hey, check for this, check for that, and telling them, try running this pressure and this temperature and this. I remember the first year the rig was here. Obviously, it's the first year of the big rule change. We have new tires. People are unsure. The engineers were helping everybody. People were coming up and talking to them, and we saw competitors drop seconds, not tenths, seconds, based on the information that they gave them.
Damn.
A 2 psi change. Guys were finding a ton of grip out there. A lot of these tires, these R-comps, these really aggressive 200 treadwear tires, these things are getting very finicky. 1, 2 psi can make or break your time.
And they're nothing like each other. On a AO,
how many run groups are there?
On an RT660, you run it low. On an RE71R, you run it in the middle. There is no end-all, be-all, and I think that's the difference between a guy that comes out here and an internet racer, right?
Yep.
Nothing against those on the internet that have raced, but obviously, I thought you were fast on Facebook.
Damn, they're talking shit.
This PSI, run it at that, but not take into account your setup, your camber, your toe, how fast your tires come on, etc., etc., etc.
And that's a GT86, right? The new one?
It does look like a new one. You almost want to say it's a super, right? Looking at it,
yeah,
you almost
Caliber Customs.
He was moving. So
Okay, yeah, so we're gonna get group 1 right after this.
Is night and day difference looking from an old GR to the new,
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't crazy. You just heard some tire squealing?
I did, but you know what? Sometimes tires, when they're coming up to temps, get loud. I was expecting to see someone doing a pirouette, but that
All right, yeah, we got.
This is the car we were just talking about. It does look very good on track, by the way.
Let me see this. Are these guys ahead of schedule or behind? Pretty sure they're behind.
People agree or disagree with this all they want, but Time Attack has always been speed and style. It's not just about building the fastest car, it's about building the fastest car that looks damn good on camera. And yeah, it absolutely is a new GT86. Beautiful looking car. This right here is the lull towards the end of the session.
Yeah, these guys are behind schedule.
Zachary Sober is going to end this session on top of a 156.689.
Pretty impressive time, honestly, for an STI. Completely stock, even if it just has like a basic coilover setup and alignment, some tires. It's got some seat time at this track, you can tell.
And Mark Yeager at a 59.2, and I can confirm it was Yeager because I saw Austin Shipley running around like a chicken with his head cut off, checking tire temps.
Well, I mean, honestly, you can confirm that it was Yeager just by how he was hanging it out over there.
And it's his car, to be fair.
He switched to a rear-wheel drive platform, and that man is using all of it.
You know, I'm going to say it, and I hope I don't get flamed by him for it later, but I was sad that we never got to see the Subaru in full anger without an issue.
Yeah, I mean, let's just put a K-Series in it, call it a day. I'm probably just going to get flamed by every Subaru owner.
That is Paul Kuz. His Instagram is S2Million. Please stay out of my feed. The tire squeak is absolute squeak. That tire screech is absolutely Zachary Sober's tire. So whatever he's running, they loud.
Well, like we were saying before, Zachary Sober is a hot shoe. He will drive that car to the absolute limit and get every millisecond out of those tires.
Now that we're still looking at this, I was talking to you about the colors next to the vehicles or next to the times, and we have the other colors you weren't able
Let's see that. What's this white time?
Yellow is going to be enthusiast class, white is going to be pro comp, blue is limited, green is street, black is unlimited. So I'll call this out throughout the day, throughout the week.
Nah, there's the one thing that the first place gets is sometimes they'll get like parts, like a turbo or some shit, but there's no money really. No cash prizes, but yeah, you can sometimes get some parts and shit. And an event like this, just for the weekend, just for Saturday, Sunday, is I think $700 bucks to register, 750. And then another $200 or $300 for the Friday practice session, and that's like open track, just to get the car sorted out and shit. This 10 o'clock session, though, I think is going to be the best one that we'll see. I mean, it's already past 10, but
I'm not like in the zone, so I feel like for me personally, the second session will always be my fastest.
And for those of you wondering what I mean, it doesn't get cold. I mean, it doesn't get hot. At 6 this morning, it was 34, 36 degrees. Right now,
God damn.
Now, the good thing about it is the sun is out. It's beating on the track. So intake air temps, well, this is out for Buttonwillow. It's still behind cloud cover, which is a positive for two reasons. One, for drivers, because it's not in their eyes. And two, it's not heating everything up very quickly. But 47 degrees for intake air temps, that's what you're screaming for. That's what you want right there, because it's just cold enough to keep it cold, but it's enough sun to get some heat into the track.
Yeah, it's good conditions.
Especially for these turbo cars, they love it. They eat it up. The track surface, you know, now that we've gotten some cars around the track, you can noticeably walk out there and put your hand in the
it's one of the more expensive events for sure.
If you go offline, the asphalt's cold. These cars are putting.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I've seen track days as cheap as $200 at this track.
Absolutely.
So for 2 days, $400 basically. But
it really is noticeable. If you were to,
yeah,
go out
350s on the higher side for an open track day. And this is an open track day. I think this is more about, you know, they got a lot of shit they got going on here. They got a live stream, of course. You know, like I said, they do have prizes, not necessarily cash, but they got some prizes that you can win if you're on top, and they gotta have some way to pay for those. Is that Kevin Burke right there? The yellow S2K? Looks like it is.
mess up anybody else's time.
He's currently sitting second in class, I'm pretty sure. The yellow STK. We shall see.
So it does look like we have some cars getting set up on grid. Some of the big heavy hitters late to the party, but it does look like Sean Cagle's coming out and Cole
Oh, here we go. That's C6, C5? C5 showed up to play. Let's see it. This can be good right here.
Shout out to Wes Hansen out there. He also has a big power, big aero GTR. Competes in NASA, Arizona. Hopefully gonna see him.
It's wild that fucking C5 is running faster than that GTR with all that crazy fucking aero on it. Man's got a wing on top of the front bumper and getting shit on by a C5. The Super ran a 49.7, I think. 49.6. And then the GT3 to his right, that one ran a 48.7. Pretty quick time, but obviously he's not stock. He's got some good amount of aero on that car. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Group 1, Session 2 going hot, being led out by Cole, followed by Sean Cagle. We know that Sean wants to hit a 39. Let's see if he can do it this session.
Damn, here we go. Here we go. Kind of hyped for these first couple laps. I want to see somebody go do some crazy shit.
So come out swinging on that first lap. That's a good tell of how they're going to do the rest of the day. As long as the car holds together.
I will say Sean is one of those light switch drivers. He's always been able to go out and just lay a lap because he can't do two. And you know, you've heard me talk about tires. That's why he can't do two. His turbos will melt.
The fuck?
He has the torque range or the torque band of an NA car. He has little babies, little baby twins. The thing responds like a naturally aspirated vehicle. And because of that, if he were to try to do 2 laps, the heat of the turbines would just blow up. They would melt to the floor.
Well, that's the issue that the life car had. Their wastegates were right next to the drive shaft. And the continuous heat of a track like Coda, where you're on the back straight, you are flat out for a long time. The heat generated through those wastegates was actually damaging the carbon fiber drive shaft.
Damn, that's crazy.
Cause it to delaminate and separate.
It's crazy to think about.
Absolutely. And
Shit getting that hot in turbos.
Have the cars at a 70% pace for the warm-up. Life is out. Life is the lead car. They're the ones that get to set the pace. And because of things like that, Cole does set a slow warm-up. But because this is Group 1, these are all fast drivers. They understand. Everyone is keeping.
It's only 6 drivers right now, dude.
Starts the flyer, everyone will speed up and the session will go fast. But luckily, this is why it's good for the competitors to know each other. Everyone knows what they're doing. Honestly, I bet you Sean is loving it right now because he tends to want to go faster to not hold someone else up. Yep. So for once, he gets to be like, all right, I get to hang out behind this guy.
Yeah, and realistically, the way everybody's gridded up and how these guys have run these times, the car in front of them should pull away. So in their mind, they should try to catch the car in front of them. That should be their whole goal, to really, really bring these cars out and get a fast time.
But they do want to keep a second or two, preferably 2 to 3, because I'm sure you've heard about it in F1. You've heard about a lot of things. But realistically speaking, aero wash is real. And when you get in these higher classes, their aero aerodynamic dependent. You don't want to go into a corner on the brakes expecting a certain amount of
Damn,
aero
here we go.
and run into the aero wash of a car in front of you.
Yep. So as we just saw, Cole Hollis
Oh, dude, that car is fast as shit.
Sean Cagle.
God damn, that thing's moving down the straight.
And our next car's coming around Sunset right now. These guys are spaced perfectly.
This is actually exactly what you'd want in a time attack session right here. And this is what comes with experience, Paul. That's what we're talking about. When you're young and you're new to this, you want to be up in the car in front of you, but that's not how you go fast. We give you 20 minutes on track, guys. This is your time.
Damn, bro.
Use it to the best. Now, we are going to try and track the life car, the full extent of the lap. They are obviously the darling right now. Everyone wants to see them lay down a flyer. Cole is, by the way, really putting it down. And what you will notice on a car like his and Williams, like unlike other people, he actually doesn't jump bus stop. He drives around it because he has so much aero grip.
He does drive around bus stop. A lot of people, the way to get around this track is to jump bus stop. We just saw Sean Cagle kind of half jump it, and the car got a little squirrely. You either have to commit to it or don't. If you're halfway up the apex, you're going to have a problem.
Absolutely, and it's either you drive around it with incredible amounts of aero, or you put 3/4 of your car over that curve.
Yep.
Ugh. That's how you bend wheels, bro. I bent so many fucking GT4 wheels like that.
The car is moving. See, what killed me about him at Coda, Paul, when you're announcing it, it's so planted it looks slow.
Yep, absolutely. And Coda is such a big, expansive track that it.
Come on, man. Don't tell me you guys lost the fucking live stream.
That was what I was talking about not trying to hit the inside curb. His whole car was unsettled. That was a couple tenths by itself.
41.5. So he's within a 2/10 of first place now.
Funny enough, Sean has actually set a faster lap than that. Let's see what he's got right here. 149.51. Sean is leading the powerhouse of life racing.
139.5. 140.951. Damn.
So I know life. They got the boost turned down. They're just kind of making sure the car's running good, everything working well.
Fucking Corvettes, man. They're light as shit.
And probably tomorrow they'll turn it up to kill mode and they'll really try to get this thing going.
Absolutely. Lawrence Yun with a 52, but Kevin Burke in his limited class.
Kevin just set another 48 flat. Same time as last session, too.
You know, Kevin Burke has a great following. He doesn't just do time attack. He was racing the Torco Viper in SCCA and NASA. Kevin Burke is a driver. And it's great to see him here with this. And I think he's here basically on his own with a couple friends. I did not see the whole Rockstar crew. It's very hard for a shop to take all the time off in the world and come to events. But Kevin wants to keep developing and pushing this car because basically this is his S2000. This is not Rockstar's. But it was with them in conjunction, building everything, putting the drivetrain and transmission out of Rockstar's white car into his to be able to campaign it. It's a true joint effort.
So correct me if I'm wrong. That is a K-powered.
I don't have an answer to that.
Oh, see, I believe it's
K-powered. It's F. It was F last time we saw it. It was F with a quaif.
A DCT setup?
F with a queef.
They were on a quaif last time. They were on a quaif. It was an F with a quaif. Okay, so
F with a queef.
Shifted. And the last time he was here, he didn't have a gear indicator. They got the car together and he ran great laps. But that was also the year we saw the weirdest brake failure ever.
Come on, bro.
Remember? And it went through the floor of his vehicle.
Yep.
This, by the way, was a single owner, pristine, no accident S2000 with a hole in the floor now.
And as you can see, Cole Paulson coming off after his one flyer because, like we said, a lot of these big power cars are one and done. So him and Sean Cagle coming off, they're going to come in, get some tire pressures, tire temps.
The difference is between the two, Sean cannot go out for another, Cole can.
Yep.
Damn, man. This is a good battle between these two cars right here.
Sean might benefit from some of those little turbo scoops that GTRs do. They have the little scoops that blow down onto the turbos.
If you've ever take 2 seconds to look in his engine bay, you could shove coolers on top of those things. It's not making a difference. What's crazy about his car, by the way, it's LS2 based. No one talks about the LS2. You know what I mean? Like, it's LS1 this, it's LS3 that, it's LS7 this, it's LS9 that. The LS2 is the bastard child. It came in the 05 to 08 vet because the LS3 wasn't ready, basically. And they've taken this bastard child of an engine and won this event overall with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Cuban Rodriguez. He is the LS knowledge king.
I do not, actually. I've just worked with them for a long time. But the good thing about it is, like anything in this industry, we all want to grow, we want to learn. And I have a disease where, when it comes to engines, lap times, track records, I would rather remove information such as my mother's birthday from my brain and insert information such as
We only got
race
5
stuff.
fucking cars
And
on
it's just
track right now.
I love living it.
I think 2 cars only. This guy's getting ready to set up for one. Ah, fuck me. What the fuck, man? Alright, here we go. I want to see Kevin get on top, man. I want to see him get the dub. He's behind, I think, 3/10 right now.
Kevin Burke's car, though it is a limited class car, I feel like that car is set up more to be able to do lap after lap. And the reason for that is they want to be able to get the seat time in it. Kevin is always developing. He's constantly pushing himself. And I got to say about him and his team, they don't quit. You know, he's also the guy that he had a C7 Grand Sport. He was ripping it. And then he was tracking his RCF. And now he's looking into something else. The Torco Viper. He's just all about getting whatever car he can and go fast.
Now, I did just walk over the other side of the tower, and it looks like the life crew just had some coolers on the car and...
Okay, alright, here we go.
Like coal got out, so I think they are going to go back out.
See, this is what we like to see. And truth be told, we know that they only hold enough fuel to do a lap or two, but it's good that they're bringing fuel onto the paddock. They're cooling the...
Fuck, man. You kidding me? Fucking live stream garbage, bro.
But it's good that they're
All
bringing
right,
fuel
we're
onto
back.
the paddock. They're cooling the car.
Nope. Nope, these fools lost it. Alright, let's see here.
But it's good that they're bringing fuel onto the paddock. They're cooling the car down.
Nah, it just dropped. Alright, well, here's the deal. I am going to take a break. I will be back in... Let's say we'll go back live at the beginning of session 3. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know how I'm feeling. Kind of tired of waiting for these guys to get this fucking live stream figured out, to be honest with you guys. Not only that, let's say even if I go live right now, we're going to be watching only 2 cars on track, maybe fucking only 1. And yeah, that's it for 10 minutes. And I'm not trying to do all that. I think it's at 1:10 your guys' time, and I think they're about half an hour behind. So probably about 1:30. Let's see, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, 1:05. So if they're an hour or half an hour behind, I would say about 1:30. 1:30 they'll get back on track, and then my camera will be fully charged, so I can get the webcam up and interact with y'all a little more than us just watching this stream together, which you can do on their YouTube channel. All right.